Good morning. What's your name, sir?
I'm Jim Alexander.
Jim Alexander. You happen to be my cousin, a famous cousin that's an iconic photojournalist. How would you describe yourself in your career?
I call myself a participant observer. All right. What I did was I documented things that I was interested in: human rights, black culture, and in a lot of cases specifically black music in terms of the culture part. And in the human rights part is the so-called civil rights movement, which I don't call any of my stuff civil rights. I call it human rights. And so I started that like in the mid 60s and right up till today.
How were you introduced to photography?
Uh, I won a camera shooting dice in boot camp when I was 17 years old in 1952. That's how I really got started. And then later on, I met a real photographer when I was stationed in Charleston, South Carolina. And he started teaching me really about photography and different types of cameras and stuff. And then when I came out of the military, I had to get a little street time in, so I didn't do a lot of shooting. Kept my camera around, but I didn't do much. And then around 1964, I got serious about photography. And then later on, I decided I wanted to teach photography. So I went to New York Institute of Photography. And that's it. I met Gordon Parks and a few other people then who I was able to bounce ideas around with and things of that sort. And Mr. Van der Zee
Wow.
and stuff like that.
Now, you have been honored with an exhibit at the Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that exhibit is an exhibit of some of our great icons. All right, we call it jazz icons. Those pictures came out of a series that I call Blues Legacy, where in terms of documenting black music, and these are a lot of the jazz icons, and a lot of them are have moved on, but they've left a big legacy. But a lot of the people who are in the exhibit are still around. Matter of fact, I've got one specific picture there that I call musicians from Phase Two, which are the two of the Marcellus brothers, and because they are the ones who are now telling the story and keeping the candle lit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Branford and Winton, and picture them with their father.
Wow.
All right, and I call those guys Phase Two, and John Faddis, and Larry Ridley, of course, and Jimmy Owens, and they're still around with us, so they're in the exhibit because, like I said, they are people who continue telling the story.
Where's most of your collection?
Most of my collection,
yes,
is right here in Atlanta in my studio.
Mm-hmm. What's your address?
I'm at the Arts Exchange, which is at 750 Calb Street in Atlanta. But we're going to be moving to a new location. They required a space on Custer, which is a step up from the building we're in right now. So I'm looking forward to that this fall.
You were telling me about Emory has an archival cluster, and you said it's the marble?
It's called the Marble Collection. It's a collection where they have acquired a lot of people's papers and other memorabilia and things of that sort. And they just remodeled a whole section in the library that's really beautiful. They've got a lot of black collections. Matter of fact, this fall in September, they'll be doing a big program around Camille Billups and, uh, and her husband Jim. And I have there's a Jim Alexander collection there too now of photographs that was purchased through a fund called the Massey Fund, and Joe Massey gave Emory some money to match to buy some of some of my photographs, and so that's an interesting project there too.
Wow. Now, so much today is digital, and digital photography seems to be leading the way for education, for our social world, and everything else. What would you say to young people in terms of appreciation of what videography can do and what photography can do?
Well, the first thing they need to do is learn the craft of photography. So many people now who call themselves photographers, in the digital world, they have a tool that is amazing, in as much as they can shoot all they want and not have to spend the money. We used to have to spend
Point and
on
shoot.
paper and chemicals and film and all of that, So now they can have one card, and just keep using it over and over and simply download the images. And I always stress to them too, to don't discard your images that you shoot. You don't know what they're going to be, 30, 40 years from now, 50 years, 100 years, So, just keep up with the technology so that you can keep moving your images, from one digital space or whatever the next thing is going to be, so that you will be able to maintain those, because they're capturing the history.
Jim, where were you born?
I was born in New Jersey. I was raised in Walbridge, New Jersey, born in Hackensack Hospital, which was the county hospital at that time. But raised in Walbridge, New Jersey.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.